Welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast with Season 2, Episode something. And, hi.
Oh, are we going by season now? Are we getting fancy pants?
Technically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you haven't done that in, like...
Well, it's still Episode 60 whatever, but, like, it's technically Season 2.
Yeah, but you haven't said that.
I just did now.
Yeah,
Look, man, we
if
recorded
you guys
a lot of
haven't,
stuff in order and things got thrown around, all right?
All right, all
and
right.
so we recently underwent a very massive rebrand. We have new art.
By
we have
recently,
we
it means
mean
like
like
2
10
months
episodes
ago. Because this is what, like
Sure.
61?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
yeah.
try.
Well,
So, like, 10 episodes ago.
10 episodes ago, we underwent a massive rebrand. If you're tuning in for the first time, we're now rebranding as America's most racist podcast.
Nope.
So,
Why?
Nope.
Why? Why are we doing
we
this?
refreshed. We did not rebrand.
I need to leave.
we needed a new creative direction.
I need
so
to
we-
exit the premises, and we need to call 911 on Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm not the one. Mike is the one who makes all the creative decisions. So.
Well, hey, now that's it's a dual effort of me and Sage that make creative
I like
decisions.
that Mike didn't even get to. I'm the host, one of the hosts, Mike, and this is Sage, and this is Anthony.
This season, we're coming out the gate with fresh bits.
It just took us 10 episodes.
It just took us 10 episodes.
All right.
Anyway, hi, I am Michael of the most accepting podcast, except if you're racist or homophobic
Correct.
or add to the list. You know, there's
There's-
a lot of things
Yeah, if
to
you're
keep
a
adding
shit
to that
person,
list.
we're not accepting of
If
that.
you're a
Yeah.
piece of shit, fuck off.
Fuck Greg Abbott, dude. Well, honestly, like Supreme Court.
We do not need to get into
Okay.
it.
I think we all know our opinions on that.
Yeah, we do
But-
not need to bring the politics into this random podcast thing.
Okay.
For
you know?
realsies.
Yeah, let's keep it as a getaway from things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Seriously.
That's
Hey,
fair.
the world sucks. That's all you need to know.
If
Boy,
anything,
howdy.
we could just talk about.
We're going to talk
Oh.
about something else that sucks.
The-
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the person that just finished Game of Thrones, Sage.
So.
And the other person that finished Game of Thrones long ago, like when everyone else did,
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Well.
Now
so
then, person that only just caught up.
I just finished Game of Thrones Monday night.
We're recording this on a Thursday for people. That
I feel like it was weird because as I was watching it, it's not that I felt like I was enjoying it less, but then like as I was watching, I was just like, oh, I can just turn my brain off. Like I don't need to think about anything. I don't need to be like, why did they say this cryptic message? Like there's no reason for me to try to connect any dots. Like it's so straightforward and stupid. And it's just so much spectacle and so much is going on where I'm like, cool. Now it's just like a medieval like action essentially.
at what point
This is
did
the
you-
last season
Yeah, like at
you're
what
talking
point
about?
did you
This,
feel like
thi-
this
I
happened?
feel like this happened
Need a bit of specificity. there.
like the turning my brain off. I feel like started in like season 6, and then by season 7, I was like, great. I don't need to make any kind of like critical analysis on what's happening. I don't need to be present for any of this.
Right, because it's all
just like
nonsense.
flashy stuff on the screen,
Yeah.
and everyone has turned so unbelievably stupid
Mhm.
that there's no reason for me to care.
Mhm.
Also, something I noticed actually while I was dying. So in like the first 4 seasons, when they would have character deaths, it would be like genuinely shocking, right? Because going into Game of Thrones, like I'd never watched Game of Thrones before, and I'd never really consumed any of its media. So I didn't know basically anything that would happen in the show, except I knew like there's dragons, there's like the 4 like main houses, and they all want to be on the Iron Throne. Like that was essentially all I knew about it. So going into it, I was just like, great, blank slate, here we go.
Unless you're a Stark, you don't want to be on the throne. You
Yeah.
just want to get the fuck out of this war.
Right. But,
You're just
but
like,
you know
I
what I
hate
mean?
being here and I hate everything about it.
But that's what I mean. Like, that's all I knew going in.
Everybody's just like keeps stabbing them. Like, no, you can't forget about us.
Right.
Never.
And so, like, also, there's going to be spoilers this entire time.
Oh yeah, hey, spoilers.
So if you're like me and you're behind on every trend by 10 years and you haven't watched it yet, go watch it and then come back.
Mike's fucking face.
What?
Go watch it. Come back in like the year and a half it takes you to watch it. Or if you're Sage, the 5 years it takes you to watch
Hey,
it.
it only took me like.
You started it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But
for
then
me.
you kept it consistent.
No.
No, you started it and then you stopped for a while
Yeah,
and then you got back into it.
Because I
And
started
you were
watching
consistent.
it. I watched like the first 4 episodes and then I dropped it off for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I should probably finish this show.
See, then
and
you were consistent with it.
And
yeah.
then I like spent 6 months watching it.
There you
Yeah, 'cause
go.
I didn't catch up till I think season 5.
Right.
I think I binged 1 through 4 or into 5. I think because I'm pretty sure I watched Battle of the Bastards when it came out.
Like on TV.
Yeah. And then I watched. So I guess 5, 6, 7, and 8. I watched Well, what was the course of those coming out? Because I know I watched a good amount when I was in Texas, and I was only there for 2 years.
6 came out, and then there was like a 2-year wait.
I thought
no,
there
there
was
was
a
a year-
2-year
there was a
gap
year.
between 7 and 8.
There is a 2-year gap between 7 and 8. There's a year gap
So
between
maybe I caught up way later.
6 and 7.
Probably
and then-
caught up later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so maybe or I guess maybe I only watched 8 in Texas. I guess I thought it was more than that, but yeah, because I went to one of my friends' like houses.
I don't know,
each
I
time,
wasn't there.
and it was not good. Every episode we just sit there and hate it,
Yeah. But so going into it with like
or not be able to see what's happening.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
it's
yeah.
weird because I really went into it with no spoilers. Like I truly had
These last couple seasons.
no spoilers for the
Like,
whole show.
Did, like,
Oh,
you
the
didn't
whole
know about
I
show.
the
didn't
wedding?
know literally anything was gonna
Really?
that anything that would happen.
It doesn't surprise me that Sage was not plugged in enough to not know about the Red Wedding.
Yeah,
But
I'm
that's
not,
pretty
I'm not plugged in
impressive.
about
Yeah.
anything.
Uh,
Head
that
empty.
Does
No
not
thoughts.
surprise me.
But yeah, so like in the first few seasons, when somebody died, like Ned Stark's death, like leading up to it, and like everyone's like,
R.I.P. the homie.
they're like, Joffrey, you don't need to do this. Like, we get the point. Blah blah blah. And then he dies. I was genuinely shocked that he died. Right. And then you have the Red Wedding. Again, genuinely shocked that they died, even though I did feel going into that episode and they're like having this fucking dinner. And I was like, this feels suspicious. I do not like it.
Oh, yeah.
Some shit's gonna go down. Like, they are being way too fucking nice. Walder Frey is such a piece of shit all the time. Why is he being so friendly, right?
Well, I
and then
think-
it was just stab, stab, stab.
See,
Yeah.
I knew that Ned Stark was going to die just because it's Sean Bean. And Sean Bean doesn't ever live.
I didn't know he was
in
going to die
anything.
so early, though.
He dies in
And
everything
then-
he's in.
But so like those deaths,
Except like the Martian.
genuinely shocking, right? Where I was just like, oh fuck. But then as like the seasons went on and people just like started, as people like got killed off, like the sand snipers, I don't know what they were called.
Sand snakes
Sand snakes, thank you.
from Dorne.
From Dorne.
Don't worry about them.
When
They're terrible.
When they died on the boat, did they die on the boat?
Yeah.
How'd they die? They died somehow.
They died on the boat.
They got killed, and like fucking the Prince of Dorne got killed, and
Oh, but
Marcella.
Oberyn's death is really sad, though.
No, not Oberyn. The
Oberyn's
prince,
death is so
Prince.
fucking.
The
Isn't he
prince-
the Prince of
the prince that was like promised to Marcella, the young one.
Oh my god, I completely forgot he existed.
Yeah. So they
Oberyn's
just
death,
died.
I would like to say, is the most like
It's
contrived
so
shit.
sad. Well, contrived.
Because there was no reason he should have died.
No, there was
No, there was absolutely no
a
reason
reason.
he should
no,
have died.
There was
no,
absolutely
there
no reason.
absolutely was
Absolutely
a reason
zero.
he died.
Like it's very well. Like it's sad. It's very very sad, but also completely avoidable. And
Also,
there was
wait.
no. There
But
was
that's
no
Oberyn's character. He's a cocky asshole,
But
and
like
he's gonna
it
take
seemed
the
like he
moment
was
to relish
he was
in it.
fine until that moment, and then
But
he's
he
like,
seemed
"I'm gonna
like
get
he
right
was-
up on you."
He seemed like he like
He was
had
an
enough
idiot.
wits about him to be
Yeah.
like, okay, self-preservation first. You know what I mean?
Not when he was in that moment. I don't
I
think.
guess that's fair. But and who was that bitch that he was fucking? With the short hair, and she was something of Dorne.
No idea.
All right, whatever. I don't
what's
know
her name?
It's been.
I know the
forever.
actress's name.
All right, well I did
She
not.
was just in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I did not like her, and I did not care that she watched her daughter slowly die.
No,
I was like,
everybody,
yeah, whatever.
everybody from Dorne
It's
sucks.
pointless.
Terrible.
Pointless.
Awful.
And then, so like, as like the deaths were happening, I was just like, literally out loud, just going, "All right, bye."
Yeah, you know how you should react to a major character death, right?
It just, you know what I mean? But it, like, there was
No, I'm agreeing with you.
yeah,
It's like
there was
because the
just
show, like,
so little, like, not only did it feel not impactful because after major things would happen, there was like literally no fucking consequences for anybody.
yeah,
It was just like, okay, you know that Marcella got poisoned, Nothing happens after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Cersei's just like, oh, they killed our daughter. Well, like time to continue being fucking evil.
Like late season Game of Thrones, season 5 had Battle of the Bastards. That's pretty much it. Season 6 had what?
Is that when she blows up the sept?
That scene is so good. The scene where the sept blows up and Tommen kills himself. That scene is so
The
good.
sept blowing up, I did not like, but
Okay. Yes.
Tommen, where you just see him, he's like,
Hold on.
all right, step up to the window.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought the set with the like cathedral or whatever blowing up. I was just like,
No, Battle of the Bastards is
Ugh.
season 6.
is it?
Yeah.
So when does
what
the
fuck was
sept
season
get
5?
blown up?
Sept blows up in the beginning of season 6.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah. Tommen's death, I agree. The good part. That thing blowing up, I was like,
But also, what's so ridiculous about Cersei blows up the sept, right?
Yes.
And then she gets crowned the queen, and nothing of consequence happens. She just becomes the queen, and there's nobody around to be like, excuse me, lady. The fuck? She just gets to stay, be in the
lady.
Yeah,
Lady.
literally. It's ridiculous. And like, what's his name? Her like right-hand man, Qyburn? I think
Yeah,
is
yeah,
his
the
name?
weird necromancer dude.
Yeah.
Maester Qyburn or
he
something
kept-
like that.
I don't think he technically isn't a maester because he got kicked out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, excuse me.
He kept like doing things and providing things for Cersei, and I was like, bruh, this is just magic. Just come out loud and come out and say it's magic. It's not science. Like he's
Why was he saying it was
experimenting like
science?
on the mountain, and he's like, well, here's
Well, yeah,
your
he reses them out.
here's your fucking 8-foot tall corpse. Like,
dude's fucking huge.
dude is fucking.
Some would say he's a mountain.
Like he's humongous. It's ridiculous. And then we spend like, I think like at least 2 seasons with Arya, like training with the faceless men.
My God, did I not care?
Yeah, no,
I
that.
really thought that was going somewhere, and I was like, okay, gotcha.
There's only
it
one
went- it
scene
went-
where that pays off.
It
And
went,
she
it, went,
uses
it went
it-
somewhere. Remember when she dropped that knife and then stabbed that dude?
She literally
No, but also when she kills
uses it
what's his
one
name?
time to kill the Phrase.
That's him. Yeah,
And
oh,
then
that's
she
the one.
goes
Yeah,
to-
she puts on the
when
face.
she goes back to Winterfell, she has a bag of fucking faces, and Sansa's just like, "What's with the faces?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it, but one day I'll cut off your face." I'm like, bro, what is with the animosity? Like, you need to chill the fuck out.
Because Sansa fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, Sansa-
She always has, always will. People defend Sansa
No,
to like.
Sansa was an
fucking
extremely
sucks.
boring character.
She's
It's not even that she's boring. She's a fucking rat.
she's just so bratty.
and she's boring.
She's just so bratty. The
Like, I
whole
understand
time.
she went through a lot of shit. I get it. But she's also boring.
She goes from being like naive and incompetent and bratty to traumatized and incompetent and bratty.
Yeah.
Like
Like, they don't do anything with the trauma.
it's just literally so she goes through all of this bullshit like at King's Landing and with Ramsay Bolton, right? And then that's it. Nothing comes of
She
it.
just constantly gets screwed over, and then she does the one thing where she doesn't get screwed over because she fucks over Littlefinger.
right. But
Yeah.
like
And it was like the one thing she's ever done.
and all
Well,
this,
besides killing Ramsay, she kills Ramsay in a pretty cool way.
she does.
Oh, I forgot about
That was pretty
I
raw.
did forget about
But
that.
like everything, and like her and Littlefinger when she's at the Vale, and he kills Lysa,
Yeah.
Aaron,
sister, yeah.
the sister. I was like, okay, you got me there. That was pretty good, but also saw that from a mile away. But then he's like confessing his love to Arya. And
No,
Arya, I'm
Sansa.
so sorry, to Sansa and all this stuff. I'm like,
because she's like,
bro,
he's like,
she's
oh,
like
you look
15 fucking
mother.
years
Yeah,
old.
you look like your mom. And
I'm like, ew, barf. If I was Sansa, I would just be like, all right.
it's over.
yeah,
Get
except
it out
it's,
of here.
You know, like the medieval ages or whatever, so that's like normal or some shit.
Yeah. And then I have so many problems. I'm so sorry that
Jon Snow
I'm
got
just-
really boring,
I'm just going through my
which
gripe
was a
list right
fucking
now.
shame.
Yeah.
I never gave a shit about Bran once he like got out of like once he fell. It almost didn't matter anymore.
I find
didn't
it
give
so
a shit
fu-
about him.
I find it so funny because, in my opinion, the worst part of the show in its good seasons were when we followed Bran on his quest to become the Three-Eyed Raven, and then like turns out that story had the most impact on the rest of the story, and I was like,
Because he
fucking
becomes
come
king?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
because
stupid
nobody
as
had a
fuck.
better story than Bran the Broken.
But
Nobody had a better story than Bran. Nobody had a better story than just make what's her face evil. Daenerys for no reason. Like, she just becomes evil. Cool. All right. And then Jon has to be a queen killer, and then he's just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna peace. Bye.
Another piece behind the
And it's
wall
like,
again.
what is
We all
this
end up
shit?
back where we started
Yeah.
because, subverting expectations.
no,
Ugh.
but like
It's fucking
The
awful.
there was one storyline that I was like genuinely interested in, maybe two, which was
in the later seasons
yeah,
or in general.
in the later seasons, which was I'm forgetting his name, the old guy that was with Daenerys.
Oh, Jorah, my favorite
Jorah.
character.
Jorah,
my favorite character in
Jorah
that show.
getting the stone disease and then getting it cured.
Grayscale? Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
getting it cured by
Sam.
Yeah.
who I did like his shit.
Sam rules.
Um,
Sam has always been
And then
great.
him curing him, that was like the only thing I really cared about. And then also, to a lesser extent, Jaime Lannister, because he became like
I know. Jamie, hands
I'm
down.
so mad.
Jamie, hands down, was the best character in that
he
show.
became like a person with a conscience.
No,
Boy, howdy,
the-
did they
the-
assassinate
the
him
thing
horribly.
the thing about season 8 truly is all the things that they've set up, right? Everything that they've done to like build up these characters, and they're like supposed to have their final moments of their arcs. They're like, you know what? No. Let's just hard cut
Yep.
180 total
Put
character
that Starbucks cup out there.
character assassination for literally everybody. No one is spared. And I am like, I think I'm the most mad about Jamie, Jon, Daenerys, and Bran.
I think if we got that ending that we got, like, if that ending that we got, instead of it being season 8, it was like season 10 or 11, I think it would have worked better.
The problem is the showrunners didn't care anymore.
I know.
I
but
think
that's the
the-
thing, like, because the thing is, like, Daenerys, like, goes from, like,
But it also got
I'm
bad
going to
before they
liberate the
stopped
people
caring.
to, like, I'm the fucking madman. Like, I'm the worst
Oh,
person
I have
alive.
to wipe
Like,
out this
I have
entire
to wipe
fucking
out-
city.
And like that. And I'm like, dude, if we had like 2 more seasons to build that up, because she starts showing like inklings of her being a little crazy in like season 5.
Right, but it's so subtle.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, so I'm saying, like, if we built that up a little bit more, I
Right.
think it would have worked.
But the reason
like,
why I'm especially mad about Jamie is he goes through so much. He learns so much
yeah,
from the people he's like spending all this time
100%.
traveling with, trying to get to and from King's Landing because he keeps fucking getting captured, right? And then I will say him knighting Brienne, very nice moment.
oh, yeah,
I thought that was
tops.
I
moment.
thought that was excellent. I was like, yup, this is exactly what needed to happen. It perfectly ends both their stories.
When you think about it-
shame that actress gets wasted in Star Wars. For
But
three
then-
wasted
movies.
in like everything.
But
dude.
but then
Also that, yeah.
so we have that extremely great scene to turn to them deciding they need to fuck, which was completely unnecessary. I wish they
Yeah.
hadn't done that.
Yeah, they
I-
fuck all right.
I wish they hadn't done that,
That was weird.
because it's not necessary for their relationship. Like, yes, she's in love with him, but he doesn't feel that way about her. And then, so you have them fuck,
Wait,
and
doesn't he get there though once he goes back and he realizes Cersei's fucking nuts?
well, here's the
no,
thing.
they
He
die together kissing under the rubble.
No, he
Like-
literally he's Cersei says, "I'll send my troops to the north to help fight for the living," which was a lie. And then when Jamie is like, "Oh, so you're just gonna let them die?" She's like, "Yeah, basically." So he goes by himself because there's no point in any of it if everybody dies, right? So he goes by himself. It's not for Brienne. And then he asks, like, so, and then because they're both warriors and fighters, he's like, "I want to fight under your command as a thing of honor," and being like, "This is how much I respect you as a fighter now." You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Right.
And then he knights her, and then they fuck, which makes her think, okay, now we're in love and we're gonna be together. And then, like, 1 episode later, he's like, "I have to go back to my fucking abusive ass sister now because I'm really in love with her, and she's a hateful person, and so am I, and I don't care about the common folks. See you later, alligator." And it's like, why did you add that? Like, you could have let him say, "See you later," but you didn't need to have them fuck.
because you need the tragedy.
No, yeah, like you're.
The
it
drama.
makes me
The drama,
so
the tea.
mad because I'm like, okay, so everything Jamie has learned in like 8 fucking years, he just decides, JK,
Yeah.
like,
Uh huh.
hello.
I mean, John also gets progressively worse as each thing goes on. Once he gets stabbed, he just gets worse.
I don't think it gets worse. I just think it gets more boring.
He-
Like,
I
they
would
just
say
t-
that's worse.
I- yeah, I
he-
guess that
by,
is worse
by the
in a
time,
way.
like he meets,
I would say that if you become boring, it's almost it's worse than just being a bad character.
he,
Boring is
yeah.
less interesting.
He meets
That's fair.
Daenerys and becomes the biggest simp in the world in the blink of an eye.
Do you think it's because he was like secretly he was like, yeah, I'm really into incest?
He didn't know.
he
He's
didn't
like,
know?
I'd fuck my aunt.
They didn't know.
He
He
didn't
didn't
know.
know the first time they fucked.
No, that's fair.
Also,
He didn't know till later, right?
after
like-
they fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
immediately after?
Not like maybe an episode later.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I was like, I thought sometime
An
had
episode
passed.
or two later.
Okay.
And literally, I can't. They're. Duh. So
Same.
they get together, right? Because he's
Me
like,
too, dude.
oh, this woman, very beautiful. She has 3 dragons. Maybe I want to bone a dragon. Who
Maybe I want to
knows?
be on her
Maybe I
good
wanna
side.
bone a dragon.
You know what I mean? And so he like instantly falls in love with her and is like, "You're my queen." And she's like, "Great, you're gonna help me with X, Y, and Z." And he's like, "I don't know about all that, but you're my queen." I'm like, "Bruh,
Pick one.
make up your mind." And then you have the absolute fucking ridiculousness of essentially sending like their star squad of fighters to be like, "All right, go beyond the wall, bring back
oh my God.
bring back
Yeah.
a zombie so we can bring it to King's Landing to show Cersei, and then she'll help us defend the wall," right? And they're like, and nobody's like, this is a fucking suicide mission. This is stupid, right? They're just like, yeah, let's do that. Let's send all of our best fighters and our best like military people to go do it. Great idea.
And
We'll
Beric
get a cool
Dondarrion.
scene.
And-
We'll get a cool scene where a guy takes out a flaming sword on a rock.
Yeah, I was about to say, and Beric Dondarrion.
But,
like,
but what's stupid though is, so they are walking for God knows how long. Also, somebody, I can't remember who said it, but they were like, yeah, and then in season 7 they just decide that teleportation is a thing because
Yeah.
no time in
Eh,
between.
I'm telling you, man, it's because of the shortened season.
Oh yeah,
That
they
they were
didn't
like, now
care.
we have to introduce fucking
But
teleportation.
it's not even it's not like it's shortened seasons because they wanted it.
Yeah, and also because they didn't give a shit anymore.
Because like once they ran out of the material, like it got a little worse, but like they still cared, and then they realized they didn't give a shit anymore.
I think seasons 5 and 6 are really, really good, and that's when they ran out of material.
I really think,
I think
5
they're
is like fine.
fantastic.
6 has Battle of the Bastards, and that's about it. And then 7 and 8 are just.
I think 6 has so many good moments,
I think the
but like,
I think,
yeah, it's not as good as seasons 1 through 5, but like, I think 6 has a lot of top tier moments.
I think it has.
I
Too
think it
bad,
really
too bad
shits the
too bad
bed.
that little brother just decided not to zig and zag. He just ran in a straight
Oh yeah.
line.
So when bringing that up, when Rickon dies,
Yeah.
I forgot he was alive.
No.
I'm gonna be honest. I forgot he was alive until that scene.
I 100% forgot Rickon was the thing.
no,
100%.
one person cares that Rickon is dead. Sansa doesn't care. Arya doesn't care.
They all know. They all
Jon
know that
doesn't
he's
care.
I
fucking
forgot he existed
There-
until that scene.
I literally, like, if you took Rickon out of the story
Least-
entirely,
yeah.
nothing would
Nothing
change.
Nothing would have changed.
It would be the exact same story.
John acts like Rickon dying is like the worst fucking thing to happen to him. But like he would have had enough motivation regardless if when he found out that Ramsay raped Sansa.
Yeah.
Like he would have had motivation enough to fucking
If
kill
that
him.
kid
Like,
did zig and zag when he was running, that would have been the most interesting thing he ever did in that show.
Like, Rickon is so useless. I don't understand why we followed Rickon for so long. Just for him to die in a...
Did they touch on him a lot?
I don't think they did.
I
I
mean,
think
at
like
the
the last
beginning
time
they
we
did
saw
when
him
he-
before that was like season 1.
No, because he's... When does, what's his face? When does Theon take over Winterfell?
Like
Season 2?
4?
Because they run
The
away.
Boltons take it from him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
wh-
he sells out Winterfell to the Boltons.
No, the Boltons go and, like, fuck up his fleet because there's only, like, 5 fucking,
Oh, he
Iron
like
Men
betrays
there.
them. He betrays the Starks. Doesn't he betray the Starks and then?
Yes,
Yeah,
but what I'm saying
yeah.
is the Boltons take over from Theon because he only has like 100 men there
Yeah.
trying to hold on to.
Well, weren't they
Winterfell.
originally there too to like help defend the north? And then Roose was like, and then he takes
Who?
it. Roose, the dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wasn't there to defend the North.
I thought isn't that why they went? Didn't like
No, the Bolton kills him before they ever go there. Or
Bolton?
the kid. Ramsey? Is that what his name is? Ramsey Bolton?
No, Ramsay Bolton kills him while they're in Winterfell.
Does
kills
he?
who?
Yeah, the
Oh,
dad.
then the dad is there. to help.
But the dad doesn't die until like a couple seasons later.
Who knows?
He
Who
dies
cares?
in
Whatever.
season
Yeah, you're right. I
6.
don't give a shit.
Who cares?
Anyway.
But
please
anyway,
continue.
what was I saying?
So what, we see him in season 4?
When Theon takes over Winterfell, because he knows it's just the 2 very young boys there, and like a couple of stragglers, because Robb has basically everybody with him.
Yeah.
He goes to take over Winterfell. Because he went back to the Ironborn, and his father's like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself," essentially.
Well, yeah, because he got his shit chopped off, right?
No,
yeah,
that's,
they made Theon
Is that-
a
or is
unit.
that
that's
later?
after.
Oh, that's after.
And then so he takes over and he pretends like he burned their bodies, and he straps up 2 other random kids to be like, "This is the Stark boys. Look at that. I'm so ruthless." And then his own men mutiny against him because they're like, "This is fucking stupid. We have no supplies. We have no food. This is a huge fucking castle. We're just gonna fucking die out here."
Yeah.
So they knock him out, and they sell him out to the Boltons.
Right.
So they take over Winterfell, and then Ramsay Bolton spends like a whole year torturing him. And he does like the whole like fake, "Oh, he's being rescued," which I thought
Oh, yeah.
was very good.
Ramsey knew how to be a good bad guy. That
He
was
really
that.
he did. And
He
then
was a good bad guy. He was a really, really good bad guy.
and then his
You really did hate him.
Oh
yeah,
my boy,
he was
fuck
such a
boy,
piece of
howdy
shit.
did
Oh
I?
my god.
Oh, he sucked.
Yeah.
So you know how their banner is like the flayed man?
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to Mark about something related to Game of Thrones. He's like, "Oh yeah, like Ramsay Bolton and like their house." I was like, "Ah yes, the filleted man, like a fillet." And he's like, "No, wrong, not correct."
Sage, you are so funny.
I didn't.
You are the funny.
You're the funniest
It-
person I've ever met
No.
on the face of the planet.
You are so
I hate
funny.
it here. I had said it by accident.
All right, now that's funny. That's funny.
They
Your
sound the
your
same.
failure is funny.
They sound the same.
Anyway,
That rules.
Do they not?
No, they do.
Right?
Flayed, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
The same.
I'm with you on this one.
so
100% with you.
like the final season, the 2 seasons, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The Battle of Winterfell against the White Walkers, and then the siege of King's Landing and whatnot, right?
Which, like,
Wait.
why
can I-
wasn't the Battle of Winterfell, like, last?
Wait, can I ask a question?
Who knows? Because they
You
didn't
know?
care. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so in the Battle of Winterfell,
Uh huh.
we see like the Dothraki essentially get blown to smithereens.
Uh huh.
And then the Unsullied are also getting fucking wiped out.
Uh-huh.
But then when they go to King's Landing, she has like a shitload of Dothraki and Unsullied. And then at the end, when she's making her like Hitler speech, she still has a shitload of men. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are they respawning? You only had 8,000 to begin with.
I was
of
literally about to
Unsullied.
say, like, they were totally respawning.
Like, you can't just have the continuous
No, she was
8,000
just sending.
over the
She
course
was
of
just
5
sending
years.
like 2,000 each fight.
But it's ridiculous. She never lost. Like, she never had any less men.
Yeah.
And the Dothraki, I'm like, I know there's like 100,000 of you, but you're all dead.
Especially
keep
because they
coming back?
literally couldn't kill any of the White Walkers.
No, they had their flame swords.
Oh, did they all have flame swords?
Yeah.
yeah, Melisandre was like,
which-
woo!
Oh, okay.
Literally, when she comes on screen, right?
Melisandre?
Yeah, right at the beginning
Is she
of
the one
that
that
fight.
consistently got naked in the later seasons?
Yes.
Because almost in the later seasons,
They needed to
basically
fill the
nobody got
nude
nudity.
quota, yeah. Because everybody was like, I don't want to do naked scenes anymore. And they were like, and then Carice Van Houten was like,
Okay. But
You'll
Nah,
give me a good shot.
I'm sure that's not what happened. but
when
like,
she
it
shows
feels
up
like
to
Carice
that
Van Houten
battle,
got naked
I
a
was
lot.
like, bitch, where the fuck are you coming from?
She was the one that
You
gave birth to the
literally-
smoke monster, right?
Yes.
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
literally were like, oh, I'm going off to Volantis now. peace out in season 7, and then she just shows back
And
up.
she sacrifices the kid, the blacksmith boy, which was sad.
Gendry?
Gendry.
The one that was the king, the son of.
Yeah, Gendry.
Yeah,
He
the
lives.
original. I thought, what? Didn't he die?
No, she was putting leeches on him for his blood, and then what's his name?
Does he live to the end?
Yeah.
I thought that kid
no,
died.
Davos helps him escape, and he's like, "All right, here's a rowboat. Bye." And that's in like season 4 or something, and he's just row in his boat, and then he randomly shows back up. I think in season 8. Or
Yeah,
7.
yeah.
And I did not need him to show back up. I did not need to have him and Arya fuck. That was so weird and uncalled
Oh,
for.
was
That was very weird.
Was that the scene where everyone was like, it was really weird to see this girl that I was watching since a child have a sex scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so
Which was like apparently all her thing. Which
Was it?
yeah. They talked about that. She was like, no, I wanted to do it, and I was like, good for you. Still very odd from seeing you as a child to doing
Yeah.
this, but
No,
It's
100%.
just weird because it doesn't serve the story at all. It doesn't feel right for Arya's character at all. She doesn't seem like like she's driven by like wiles or wants to have that be like a part of her.
wasn't it not that? Didn't she say she just wanted to like know what it was like?
Yeah, she was like, I want to experience it once before I die, which I was like,
I
all
can
right,
kind of respect.
I guess that's fair.
Very pragmatic of her.
But why with this man? It just does
Well,
not
she
make
always
sense.
liked
The only
Gendry.
option,
No,
and yeah,
no,
she did
no,
like
and
it
that makes sense.
originally.
She always liked Gendry.
I know, but I always thought they were like more siblings than.
Nah, she
we're gonna
definitely
fuck.
liked him.
I think she liked him.
Ugh.
Yeah. Look, I won't defend season 8 at all, but like that right there, I'm like, yeah, I could kind of see it.
It just felt so out of place. I was like, nah, you could die a virgin and it's fine. She doesn't even die.
No, she doesn't. She's like, what's west of Westeros? And I'm like, I don't know, fucking water.
Fucking the end of the world. I don't
Like, I
know.
don't know what you fucking want from me.
She just loops
Yeah,
back
Westeros is
around to
flat.
Essos.
Westeros is flat.
She just loops around to Essos again. She's like, oh god damn it.
Yeah, Danny could. Oh, never mind. She's fucking dead.
But,
yeah, like because the Battle of Winterfell, right, is
Could have been
First,
one of the
could have been
greatest
amazing,
cinematic
but
achievements ever.
one, can't see anything that's happening. that
So
entire fight.
dark.
No.
Oh my
Absolutely
god.
cannot
Do you
see
remember when
one
the
thing
Do you
that
remember when the
happens.
DP of that was just like, get better TVs, and we were like,
and
I could have seen that in a fucking like top of the line movie theater.
straight up, I
and
could have saw that
still not
shit in
been able to see
IMAX
it.
and not
Like,
been able to see it.
And I get it because I think like the whole thing was they wanted to be like all this like natural lighting and very realistic. I was like, you know what? I understand.
You can
the,
still make things look real.
I understand the intent, but you cannot film at night and your only source of light is literal fire.
Like,
it does not show up
there-
that great.
No, because that reads to me like nobody gave a shit.
Like the number one rule of lighting is you can always take away, but you can't add.
Right.
You should have that shit seeable, and then if you want to take it, you just lower it down a bit afterwards. But like Jesus Christ, first part of that,
And
the
the
problem
whole
there.
episode is dark.
Yeah, the entire time.
Even when they're inside.
The entire time, can't see anything.
No.
That's problem number one. Problem number two is even the fights that you get are not that interesting. And then three, the scene with Arya killing the fucking
Completely-
king.
Here's
Wow, he got her. Oh wait, she dropped her knife, then grabbed it with her other hand, stabbed him. Got him. Like
but what's so
Should have been Jon Snow.
What's so stupid about
it was so
that?
random that it was her.
It either
Should've been
should
yeah,
have
really.
been John or it should have been Bran because the whole time of him becoming the three-eyed raven and it's like this great big rush for him to learn these skills is directly connected with the Night King. So you think, okay, he's going to become the three-eyed raven. He's going to know some way to kill him, right? Or like do something impactful.
Yeah.
Arya
And
just
then
stabs him.
he
Yeah.
doesn't. And it's so infuriating because I'm like, why did I just watch 8 seasons of this kid going from,
He doesn't do anything.
I'm 10 and I broke my legs to, I'm going beyond the wall so I can become fucking an omniscient god
But also, the problem too is that
to do nothing with
he
it. I'm so
also
sorry.
then, and I don't think it's the actor's fault. I would
No,
assume.
not at all.
But it's
No.
but once he like goes beyond the wall, he just becomes such a monotone, flat character. He shows no emotion
I actually,
ever again.
wait,
That was I think that was interesting up to a point.
But because
To a
it's
point.
no longer interesting to watch that character.
Well, because when you think about it, like becoming the Three-Eyed Raven means you know everything, so nothing surprises you. He becomes
Right.
Dr. Manhattan essentially.
But there was a difference in like delivery because Dr. Manhattan works, or maybe it's the difference in exposure where Dr. Manhattan in like a movie you only see him for so long, or a show or whatever. But in a 8-season long show, you get so much of this character that's really important, being only monotone and showing no emotion that you just stop caring. I mean, like I already didn't care because his story wasn't all that interesting. But like,
I feel like I understand why they chose that route of making
I
him like
understand it.
blank stare monotone, but I kind of wish they had moments where he would break, where it would make sense to, because it's not like he's not a human anymore. He didn't turn
Like I wouldn't want that
into
guy as a
something
king.
else.
I wouldn't want that guy as a king.
Oh, like, he seems like a fucking asshole.
like
Literally.
every time you go up to the king, he's just like, yeah, I already knew that was gonna happen. Of course, I'd be like, I don't want this dude. Fuck off. Like,
But yeah, and then you have all this stuff with like continuous of John going beyond the wall, right? He's fighting the free folk, but then he realizes, oh,
You're looking at my ass, Jon Snow.
our real enemy is the White Walkers.
He married
so
her.
he helps. He did. So he helps
I
the
think
free
that's
folk,
adorable.
and then they're like, all right, we realize what a giant threat they are, right?
Do you think she
And he-
says, "Do you know nothing, Jon Snow" to him in bed?
God, I hope not.
Do you think you
That's
could not
horrible.
interrupt me?
No.
Ah.
You're a woman, of course not.
God. But anyway, so you have all this stuff about like Jon Snow and being beyond the wall, and the multiple times he sees the White Walkers and interacts with them and realizes that they are literally humanity's #1 enemy. And he sees the Night King several times. So you would think, oh, I get it. He has this big fancy Valyrian steel sword. Yeah.
He sees
Yeah.
Night King more than like twice.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, all right. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he has this big fucking giant ass Valyrian steel sword. Surely he will do something with it other than just cutting up regular people. But no, he tries to pass it off to Jorah Mormont, being like, your father gave me this sword. And Jorah's like, I've been disowned. It's all right.
No, I like that
Which
scene.
is
I think
fine.
that scene's great.
Which is fine, no
Yeah.
problem. So he keeps the sword, right?
Which, implies that he'll do something with it.
But then
he never
he
does.
doesn't
Nah.
do one single thing
Doesn't
with
do
the sword.
jack shit.
He doesn't even kill Daenerys with that sword. He kills her with some fucking random ass dagger,
Yep.
which is stupid. And I'm like, also, side note, speaking of swords, I was very upset when Sam gave his sword to Jorah, and he's like, oh, I can barely lift this thing up, blah, blah, blah. And in one episode, they turned Sam from being this guy who's like, not only incredibly smart, but has gained strength and bravery through multiple trials, and become like a very like assertive and like sure of himself person, and they turn him into a complete fucking wimp all over again for no reason.
Because, Sage, everyone goes back to where they started to
Where-
subvert expectations.
Where did he get his wife again?
From Beyond the Wall.
Was it like?
At Craster's, like,
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
just had like a bunch of women, right?
Just sex
it
slaves,
was
yeah.
it was his
Yeah.
daughters. And then he was sacrificing
the kids.
the kids.
And then he.
Wait, what do you mean, quote unquote?
They weren't his daughters, right? Weren't they sex slaves?
No, they were his
No,
daughters.
Oh, they were his
They were.
daughters.
That he was turning into sex slaves to give him more children,
But then
so he
killing
could
them.
have more sex slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But killing the men.
Yeah, the sons.
Yeah.
And then it was weird because then the White Walkers would take the like baby boys, because they would be like, all right, we're sacrificing you, see you later. And then the White Walkers would snatch them up, and there's this scene of like the Night King turning one of them into a White Walker.
Yeah.
Never explained.
Why they do that? Or
Yeah, they never.
to make more of their army.
Okay, but is that baby gonna grow, or now you just have a worthless
No,
fucking
I
White
think it
Walker
grows.
baby?
I think that's the implication that's how they've
Never
gotten so many
explained.
men. I think
No.
that's the implication.
I don't think that really matters.
But
honestly.
then, and then they, you know how like throughout seasons we kept seeing like all this like spiral and circle and cryptic ass imagery.
You know how that means nothing?
Never explained.
yeah.
I kept thinking that's really cool. I'm sure it has something to do.
Hey Sage, remember when they're in the slave city?
Yeah, which one?
Remember the lady
In Marine?
in Marine. Remember the lady with like the big like mirror mask?
Oh, in Karth.
And she's like, Karth, is that where they was?
That was in Karth.
Yeah,
when
remember
they
they're
steal
in
her
Karth,
dragon
when there's
eggs.
the big-
Yeah,
the big-
never
into the
explain
mic.
her.
I am in the mic.
Never explain her either.
When there's the when there's the woman with the mirrors and she's like, there's something coming, and we don't know what it is.
Yeah, no.
And we never do.
No. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! Now I can't remember what it is.
All right, cool.
Sorry, go.
So
It was about the slave cities.
I would like to point out this is a nitpick, but
Sure.
it always bothered me
Okay.
when that fucking dragon dies, right? And they bring it.
when it gets turned into a
When it gets turned
Viserion?
into that fucking goddamn dragon should have like ice breath. It should not have blue fire. It makes no sense
thought it
that
was
it has
gonna have-
fire powers.
I thought it was gonna have ice breath too.
It makes zero sense that the fire just becomes blue. Like, it's fucking dead. They are ice people. It should have ice breath.
I thought it was gonna have ice breath. Also, how in the fuck did they get Viserion out of that like frozen ass lake?
Didn't they show that?
They have these fucking mile-long chains.
Yeah.
Where did you get those? Hello?
None of it makes sense.
They did. They
It's
just did.
so nonsensical and ridiculous.
But that dragon shouldn't have fire breath. It's
And I was
fucking
like-
You ever
bothersome.
see that interview they did about the final season? DB and B&B,
Yeah.
the showrunners. You ever see that interview they did where you remember the scene where Daenerys is like leading the fleet to like
yeah, and
fight?
she forgets about Euron's
she's
fucking
like
fleet.
she's like the interview where he's like, Dany was just so like consumed by rage that she just kind of forgot about Euron's fleet. I'm like she forgot.
Also, Euron, one of the most fucking useless
Euron
characters.
sucks so bad.
He's
dude.
so-
Euron sucks.
From his introduction, they do nothing to make because you know how
That's the uncle, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just a piece of shit. That
But you know
sucks.
how in the earlier seasons where you'd have characters who were actively a piece of shit, but there was like a glimpse of being like, okay, I can
Well,
understand.
because the thing is,
know what I mean?
everybody in Game of Thrones up until season 5, if you were a piece of shit, you had depth.
Right.
Like Tywin,
Right.
fucking
Tywin's such a good character.
Tywin slams, dude.
Which
I'm
one's
so
that?
happy Charles Dance got out of that
Tyrion's
show.
dad, the Lannisters' father.
Oh yeah.
Remember
yeah.
he shoots him with a crossbow while he's shitting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Tywin's so good. Fucking Jamie. Fucking Cersei. Like, if you're a piece of shit in that show, you had depth up until season 6. Like,
Yeah. But
but-
they introduce him, and he's just a piece of shit for no
sucks.
fucking reason at all.
Yeah.
And it's so wild that he's like, his introduction is that he kills his own brother,
Yep.
and he's like, hey, nephew and niece, I've come back from sailing the world. Was he exiled from the island?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
I've
remember.
come back from sailing the world, and I killed your father, and I decided it's my turn to be the king. And honestly, unsurprisingly, Yara and Theon are like, no.
Yara rules, though.
Yara's like,
Yara rocks.
bruh, you've been gone longer than I've been alive. What are you talking about? You know? And it makes sense for Yara to be queen because, let's be real, Theon is fucking useless.
True.
Like, he really stays useless. Even up to his death.
Well, after he gets, like, his dick cut off and tortured, it kind of makes sense that he's a little...
Yeah, but he was like
You
that
know.
beforehand. He was a fucking pussy through and through.
Yeah, he was.
Because
always
when
a fucking
when he's
coward.
with the Starks, he's just crying about not being with his real family and that he got captured. Then he goes
No, he
back
didn't
to
get captured. He was a vassal.
No, he did. They stole him as a hostage.
Is that what?
No, he was a vassal.
What's a vassal?
The Greyjoys gave them to him, to the Starks.
Oh, I thought they took him and they were like, he's
No.
our hostage now.
No, yeah, the Greyjoys gave him to the Starks to like form an alliance.
That's stupid.
Because they
but
didn't
all right.
want him,
Right.
so they used
But
him
anyway,
as like a.
so he's crying
political
about
tool.
that, and then he goes back to the Iron Island, and his dad is like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself." So he cries about that, which is why he goes to capture Winterfell anyway because his dad doesn't respect him. So he thinks, oh, if I take Winterfell from these fucking 10-year-olds, my dad will respect me. And then he gets his shit fucked up by Ramsay Bolton for a few years.
That's right. That's what I was misremembering.
Right.
They send in the Boltons to like give justice to like get Theon and fuck him up. Yeah, I remember. Okay.
And so he just spends the whole series crying, except I will say the moments that he has with Bran right before he dies, I thought that was good. Where he's like truly apologizing to Bran for everything that he feels responsible he went through because of his decisions.
Yeah.
Which is good. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, but like, he tries to be heroic here and there, but he's such a whipped bitch that every time he tries, he fails terribly, and he can't gain anyone's respect because of it. And I'm like, bro, you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? You know?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, I get what you're saying.
But what was I saying before Theon?
About Euron.
Euron, thank you. But he's just an asshole all the time. And then he decides, okay, I'm the king now. And his plan is to go to Daenerys first, right?
Well, no, Euron, I thought he went to Cersei first because he wants to, like, fuck her. And he's like, oh, I'll give you a fleet if you fuck me. And she's like, I'll think about it.
Well, I thought his first plan was to go to Daenerys, but Yara and Theon
honestly don't remember.
beat him to it.
I honestly don't remember.
Oh, well,
I thought he went straight to Cersei.
Then he says, JK, I'll go to the next best thing, which is Cersei.
Yeah.
And then he has this absolutely pointless fight with Jaime right in the last 2 episodes. When Jaime decides, oh, all of my character development, never mind.
Yeah, bye.
So he decides to go back to Cersei to die with her, which is ridiculous.
Stupid.
Also, in one of those interviews, like after the show, and they're talking about Cersei's death, they're like, oh yeah, in that moment, she realizes she's just a girl and she's scared. I'm like, this bitch
Hello?
has been so cool with murder and evil and poisoning and sabotage and conspiracy forever. Now she's quote unquote just a girl and scared.
Fuck you.
Also,
Suck my dick.
Can we talk
Also,
about how? No, go ahead.
Sorry, she was pregnant for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
Huh?
She sure
Cersei.
was. She had another kid coming. Remember?
Yeah, she like tells
Her and
Jaime
Jaime had another
in
kid.
like the beginning the beginning of season 7.
I remember that.
I
do remember that now.
That was like her motivation for like everything.
That she's like, oh, I want a better world for my child.
Because that was.
Oh, because all her kids died.
I think he
Right.
tells. I think he tells her when she sees the undead, and then she's like, I realized that we couldn't have. That scared me as a mother. And he was like, all our kids are dead. And she's like, are they though?
And whose fucking fault was that?
Can we also talk about how fucking bad of a fight the Mountain and the Hound fight was?
Terrible.
Yeah, Clegane Bowl.
Clegane Bowl.
Clegane Bowl.
Absolutely.
Waited
awful.
8 seasons for that fucking shit.
And it was already shot in the foot because it was a fucking zombie.
Yeah.
Like, already didn't help.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't get any interaction out of the two of them.
Yep.
It was just him being like saying shit and just the other one being like, ugh.
Well, the Mountain never talked anyway.
Yeah, but like you could have.
But you know what? You know what's weird though is I really feel like Sandor Clegane. Clegane, thank you.
You got it.
It's hard in your mouth, all right?
It really is.
I feel like he should have died on that like hillside.
The Hound.
Yeah.
Oh, like when Arya stabs him.
No, when he gets fucking beat up by Brienne and he's asking Arya to just mercy kill him.
Yes.
And
right.
she's like, nah, bye. I feel like that's
wait, had they gone on their adventures yet?
Yeah.
At that point? Oh,
yeah, that was.
And then
Brienne like frees Arya.
Oh yeah, it was supposed
and
to go
then
get.
he
She
just
bests the Hound.
shows up again with some fucking like hippy dippy earth cult. And then they all get killed off in the same episode that we meet them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ian McShane was
Yeah,
in that.
Ian McShane shows up
yeah.
and he's like, I was once a bad man too, but now I have this cult, and look, we're living off the land, and it's so great. And Sandor's like, cool, I guess I'll help you out. Cause
I forgot that was
I
what
have-
his name was.
Sandor, yeah.
Sandor, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I got nothing better to do with my life. Why not? And then they all get murdered in the same episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is the point?
I really loved the Hound.
I love the Hound
loved
too,
his
but
development.
there was an after when he's like truly begging Arya to kill him. I felt like that should have been the end of his story. Like I know his whole thing was like
Yeah, he's got to fucking kill his brother.
he's got to kill his brother, but I think we would have been better off without it.
I don't know. I think,
Because him killing his brother isn't even satisfying because
Nope.
he dies
No,
too.
that's his
Super
whole. Well,
uninteresting.
here's the thing: we didn't know that at that time. Well, actually, no, he was already a zombie.
He
Yes.
was already a zombie.
It was uninteresting because A, he was already a zombie. B, even if he didn't talk beforehand, he might have talked then to give some kind of interesting
Well,
back and forth
at that
to
point,
it.
I mean, the show already kneecapped itself because I mean, like, you're not gonna not do Clegane Bowl. You know
No,
what I mean?
you're
Like, you have to.
absolute- you're-
But
You
give
had
it a
to
good,
do
give
it.
it a good fight scene, and it didn't.
I know. I'm agreeing with the both of you.
Right.
I'm just saying what I think the reason is.
Right.
It's because they already kneecapped themselves because they shot
So
shot themselves in the foot already by having him be a zombie.
Right.
So like, yeah, you're right. That already like kind of
So-
undermines the entire fight. But like the whole point of Sandor's character is to fight his brother. So like, you
Right.
had to have that at some point, or else if he died there, it would have just been like unsatisfying.
No, that would have been fine.
I don't know. I disagree. I think it would have been completely unsatisfying.
But this is less satisfying almost. If
But
he
you know
died
what-
during that fight and was just dead, like,
But-
oh well, the
No,
Viper got
I
to
don't
him.
think it's less satisfying.
what
I
doesn't
think
make
the fact that they
sense-
still got the fight, so Sandor
No, 'cause
could
he
complete
didn't-
his
but
arc.
He didn't do anything. And the mountain added nothing to the story. All he did was then kill the fucking dude that
Mike,
resurrected him.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that this fight
I
was
know.
bad. I'm just saying Sandor's development as a character, his whole motivation is to kill the Hound. So they had to have that fight.
To kill the
If
Mountain.
you're right, the Mountain, yeah. They had to have that fight. From purely from a writing perspective, they
disagree.
had to have that
I
fight.
think that he could have had that development and then realized that his brother was dead and then had a different arc that was realizing that his life was amounting to something that's already over and he needs to find a new purpose.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Well-
That's
That's
why
what
they
I'm
didn't do
saying.
that.
But that's what I'm saying
Wait.
is that would have been better than just being like, well now we'll just have him fight a zombie.
But hold on.
But that's not the way it went
Hold
out.
on,
Oh, but
because-
No, I know.
I think I kind of agree more with Mike here because right before he goes to fight him, he even says to Arya, he's like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You're gonna die for no reason, and your petty revenge is gonna be unsatisfying. She's like, thank you. And it's the only time she calls him by his name and is like saying a genuine thank you to him, and she dips, right? He realizes in that moment that petty revenge, because he knows she's there to kill Cersei, right? Because she's on her list and this, that, the other thing. And he realizes for her, it's not worth it. So he could have too been like, all right, bye, even though that would have been stupid at that point. Because ultimately, like Mike was saying, like, oh, he could have realized his brother is dead or a zombie now and he needs to find new purpose. In his whole time with Arya, of being like, oh, I'm just pawning you off, right? So I can get some gold. As that goes along, they become so close, like such like a great father-daughter relationship that he truly finds a new purpose in life. And he cares so deeply for her that like when he's fighting with Brienne, that's why he fights so hard, because he doesn't want to lose her. He sees her as his daughter. So they're fighting so hard. So when he's like lost the fight and he's like, all right, just kill me, it's not because he's like, oh fuck, I didn't get to kill my brother and I'm gonna die here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because he knows he's losing this like one human connection that he truly has with somebody, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it makes more sense for him to die at that part instead of coming back and fighting and having Clegane Bowl, in my humble yet correct opinion.
Clegane Bowl did nothing. It added nothing.
It
so there
added
was
to
no
the
reason that it should have
memes,
ever
that's
happened.
for
Right.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
it should have just
Like-
he should have just had that moment that he realizes that his brother's already dead, so it's no point.
Speaking of memes, I did find this very funny where people were saying like, how in the fuck are you gonna shoot down one of the dragons when you have like 3 of these giant crossbows, but when you have like
Ballistas.
70 of them, you can't hit one. Make it make sense.
Because those three had really good.
Yeah, they had the
aim.
best. They had the best archers in the world
Oh, I'm sure they
on them at that
fucking
moment
did.
because they knew that Drogon was coming.
But they don't even kill Drogon.
Oh, who did they kill? Which one was it?
Rhaegon.
Rhaegon. Yeah, that one. I don't remember the dragons' names.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, it's Viserion, Drogon, and Rhaegon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I do remember the dragons' names.
Now I do remember their names.
Oh, also, the whole, Jon Snow, you're actually not a bastard, even though that's the whole point of your fucking character. You're actually.
It's the Star Wars problem, dude.
You're actually royalty.
Yeah, it's the
and
Star
you
Wars
have
problem.
the best claim to the throne.
Yep.
It makes no sense. The whole
Well,
point.
that's always been what it was going to though.
Right, which I don't.
Because they had to guess who his mother was
I
to do
don't.
this
I
show.
don't mind that was what it was going
That's
to
a nice
be
story.
forever.
I like that story.
But
Yeah, too bad it didn't. They stopped caring.
but the way they did it makes it make no sense.
Yeah.
Because
That
they-
it was a what was it that it was she was in like a castle. She was a
No,
Stark.
no, not that. I'm saying when they decide to give us that information
Oh,
that Jon is actually Aegon Targaryen, right?
right.
And he is the last like male heir to the Targaryen throne. They do it so late, and the first time we hear it is a literal just fly by line by Gilly of all people reading a book, being like, "What does annulment mean?" Right? She asks this question to Sam, and he's like, "Oh, it's when you like make a wedding void, like a marriage void." And she's like, "Oh, well, did you know that Rhaegon Targaryen voided his marriage with his first wife and secretly married Lyanna Stark, and they had a baby?" And it goes by so quick, and then like it comes back a few episodes later, and they're like, "Oh,
To be fair,
that's
to
Jon."
be fair, I do think that I kind of slightly like that, just for the fact that would be how someone finds it out. Like somebody just fucking scanning an old ass book and being like,
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
what the
Huh?
fuck is this?
What
oh,
did that
sh-
thing say?
oh shit, my friend's a fucking king.
But the reason why it's stupid is they do it so
Oh, yeah.
late, and the whole time that we follow Jon is him being like, is him putting himself down because he's a bastard. He never feels like he's a true Stark, no matter how successful or what kind of rank he has in life, because he never feels like he can honor his father, Ned Stark, right? And give like good graces to the Stark name because he's a bastard. Right? He becomes like Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. And then they want to make him king in the north, and he's like, "Oh, I can't be a king. I'm just a bastard. Like, you need to have somebody else do it." And they're like, "No, but we want you to be king in the north," right? So he goes through all of these things as Jon Snow the bastard, and he achieves them as a bastard just for them to be like, "JK, you're really a king and your last name is Targaryen."
Yeah. Also, speaking of another fight that's really fucking disappointing, the fight with that Ned and the like dual wielding sword guy.
Oh, Arthur Dane?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that had the fucking sword made out of moon rock.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Another fight that was awful.
So
First of
bad.
all, choreographed horribly. That double he fought like he didn't know how to dual wield, which you don't really dual wield anyway in real life. But like, you have a character based on it, make some good choreography with it. They don't. And then that's when he's like, "Oh, my dad fucking stabbed him in the back. He didn't even do it like a hero." And then you're like, "Well, yeah, nobody's perfect." But like, it's just another fight that
Well,
they
nobody's
build.
perfect.
They build up to that fight because
For
they
a
talk about
long
how
time.
important that
Right.
how impressive it was that Ned beat him, and it's just awful.
Right.
It's not an interesting fight. It's not good in any regard, and like, that's fine if he fucking stabs him in the back. Like that's fine. Like, he lied about the story, whatever. That's interesting character development or whatever. But like, the fact that it was just uninteresting
Right.
is really annoying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit in that fucking. She like Arya has Needle for that entire point. She does like nothing with it really.
Basically.
And then Sansa, I think, stands up for herself like maybe twice.
Maybe.
Bran does basically nothing, and then that final fight, Jon like gets up to Daenerys and just is like, anyway, stab.
When Mira, when they finally get back to Winterfell, and Mira's like, all right, I'm gonna go protect my family now, and Bran's like, see ya, and she's like, all right, I just spent like 4 years risking my life for you. Guess I'll go fuck myself. And he's just like, sorry, bruh, can't do anything about it. I was like, wow, what a fucking piece of shit.
I won't say thank you.
Yeah, I was like, all right, ungrateful bastard.
Such an
because
asshole.
he's so fucking uninteresting and doesn't
Such
care.
an asshole.
Ugh.
R.I.P. Hodor.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
do we have anything to talk about for the ending of it, or just like anything else?
Like the end of Game of Thrones in general?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you know, in total, what would out of 10, where would you rank Game of Thrones?
Like overall as a show.
Overall, like the entire 8 seasons.
7.
Would you recommend it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's at this point it's an American cultural like touchstone.
Sage.
I would have to say 7 as well.
And would you recommend it?
I don't know. I feel like I came out worse for it. Like watching it. To be completely honest, because watching especially the first 4 seasons, I truly understood why this was such a cultural phenomenon and why this was literally everywhere at its peak, because everything is so good. And I didn't even get to mention how well acted everything is.
Yeah, we did just shit on this show for an entire hour, but it has genuinely incredible moments.
The acting is so good, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like,
ridiculous and meticulous.
Like
ridiculously meticulous.
The scene with Jaime and Brienne in that bath, and he's telling her why he killed the king, is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's incredible.
It's incredible. You get every ounce of what this man's life has been like.
Oh yeah.
In that one scene, and you understand completely why he did it.
Right.
Honestly, anytime Nikolaj Coster-Waldau is on screen, he acts circles around everybody. The only person that stands toe-to-toe with him in terms of acting, Cersei and Tyrion.
Yeah.
The only
They're
two people.
So
the
good.
only two people. He acts circles around everybody.
And it's actually so disappointing because the actress for Cersei, Lyanna, what's her last name? Headey? Is that her last name? Is so good.
Oh my god, she's such an incredible
she's
actress.
Incredible. But then after season 6, they give her almost
the shittiest scripts.
Nothing to do.
And then Peter Dinklage is also incredible until he isn't.
Because
Tyrion
they
just
make
gets
him
less
an
interesting.
idiot.
Yeah.
But anyway,
would you recommend?
But here's the thing. The thing. I'm gonna pull a cat on this because I truly feel like I'm worse coming out of watching this show. But if I hadn't watched it, I wouldn't understand why it was so highly touted as the best television ever made, to very sharply flip that coin of the worst television ever made.
Why, everyone hated it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I understand, but I kind of wish I didn't.
America was never less divided than during season 8 and hating it altogether.
I don't know.
God.
I think I wouldn't recommend it. Don't put yourself through it. It's 80 episodes, and it's really not worth it.
It's straight up that
I've watched
ending.
worst anime.
That ending
watch
straight
the
up.
first 5 seasons, and then just be like, and that's where it ended.
Watch Battle of the Bastards.
Honestly, I think that ending tanks any rewatchability for that show.
I've had zero
Me too.
inclination
Me
to
too.
ever go back to it.
I have not once thought about Game of Thrones until today after that show ended.
It's just so unsatisfying. Not one person gets a satisfying ending to their story.
Like we said, Sam does, because he becomes the maester of the kingdom.
Which he shouldn't be.
I disagree.
No, he's earned that.
Sam's earned that, absolutely.
Sam is the only character that's earned getting that kind of position.
The reason why I think he wouldn't be the maester is because he literally escapes the Citadel and steals from them, when the Citadel's whole thing is based off of extremely strict rules.
But he does that
No, he
because
does
they
it to
refuse
save
to. They
humanity.
refuse to let them help, and he
Right.
he
Yeah.
has
I
the
know,
knowledge that
He-
can.
but
he
I
does it
don't
to
think
save
the Citadel
humanity.
would have done that. I don't think they would have cared.
Wait, what?
You don't think?
I don't think the Citadel would have been like,
Right.
oh, we understand,
but the
become
point,
a maester.
But the point is that no, I don't think they do.
So how does he become a fucking maester?
I think in the same way that the other guy is.
Oh, they're just like, all right, you're our maester now.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I don't think he's actual. I don't remember.
I
don't.
think
it's
No,
he
he
is
becomes
because
he
he's
becomes
wearing-
maester after the
Oh,
old
all right,
Targaryen guy
then
dies.
then I'm sure. Then
No, so
he's saying
he
she's
doesn't-
saying the Citadel
no.
shouldn't have given it to him the
No,
status.
he doesn't become the maester of the Night's Watch.
What?
Aemon Targaryen dies, and
Yeah.
they don't have a maester anymore.
They go to train him.
Then
and
he
leaves.
goes to the Citadel to be trained,
Right. Yeah.
and that's where he cures Jorah of grayscale. And then he's like, y'all are not fucking doing anything, and you're not paying attention to the fact we're all gonna die. So he's like, all right, see you later, bye.
Yeah.
And he goes up north to help Jon.
Yeah. I absolutely think he deserves maester after that.
It's not that I don't think he
She's
deserves
saying
it. I'm
that
just
she doesn't
saying
think the
it wouldn't
Citadel
have
would
happened
give
like
it to
that.
him because they
Oh.
don't care.
Oh, who gives a fuck?
Me, because none of it makes sense.
Okay, anyway, Sam's
Also,
the only
they-
one that got a position at the end out of all those people that got the random things that I actually cared about.
Also, this was really bothering me. Bronn, who has been
Bran.
Bronn,
No, Bronn.
That was Bran.
Bronn, Jamie and
the
Tyrion
the
sellsword.
mercenary. Yeah.
Oh, that was his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Bronn,
The guy that teaches him to fight with his other hand.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
here's the thing. So Bronn spent like 2 or 3 years with Tyrion,
Uh-huh.
and then another 2 or 3 years with Jamie,
Uh-huh.
and he cultivates like a genuine relationship with both of them.
Uh-huh.
And he cracks jokes of being like, I'm just a sellsword, but he truly cares about them, because you even see it, even though it's fucking ridiculous and stupid, where Jamie tries to kill Daenerys on horseback while she has a dragon 1 inch from her. Bronn is like, okay, here goes my gold, let me save my friend. And he tries and saves Jamie, which they both should have been dead, but anyway, he saves him, right? But his gold goes bye-bye. That, for me, I'm like, that makes perfect sense.
That's
Because-
that's character development.
This makes perfect sense. And then they just decide, JK, he doesn't care about them. He just wants money and titles. And Cersei's like, well, if I give you this castle, can you go assassinate my brothers? He's like, hell yeah, I can. I'm like,
You know what I love about that show? Bronn and Cersei never have a scene together
they don't.
because they dated in real life, and it was a
Really?
very, very bad breakup.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know
Terrible breakup, apparently. So those two actors don't have scenes together in the entire show.
Didn't know
that.
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I love Bronn, though.
because like even like because I knew that information, and I was like, huh, let's see. And then there's like the last episode when like they're all together, in the middle of the arena, and like
Right.
and like Lena Headey's like and like Cersei's
In the
like
like
saying
dragon
shit.
fighting pit.
Yeah, and like Cersei's like giving orders to everybody. Bronn leaves before she comes out.
Oh.
Mm.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, that's
Damn.
pretty. And then apparently, Pedro Pascal and Lena Headey were fucking on set.
Ooh! The tea.
Apparently, they were dating while they were
All right, then.
doing
The-
doing their Game of Thrones together.
The tea.
I
I know, right?
So anyway,
I know you keep trying to wrap it up,
Yeah,
but
I keep
also
trying to, and you guys keep
Marcella's
going.
character, complete waste of time.
don't even
Marcella
remember who that
sucks.
is.
That's her one daughter, and Tyrion sends her off to Dorne to be married to the prince, which is really funny because
Sure.
he does that in like season 2, and then we come back to them in season 4, and she's like kind of more grown up now, and she's just super horned up for the prince, and she's like, wait, but I
Who was
want
the
him.
hot one that was married to Tommen?
Marjorie Tyrell.
Natalie Dormer.
Yeah,
So hot.
yeah, so hot.
So.
Oh yeah.
Fucking dies in the crypt. Not the
she
crypt.
died.
The
Yeah, because
the sept.
she gets like indoctrinated, right?
No, she gets thrown into prison because she lies about her brother not being gay, because he's gay, right?
Yes.
And she lies about it while he's on trial, so they throw them both in prison. This is Cersei's plan to get Marjorie out of the picture of being queen,
Right.
so she can have power.
Mhm.
And then she's in prison basically forever, and then they're gonna have a trial for some reason, and they all go into the sept, and then Cersei's like, haha, gotcha, and she blows them all up.
Right.
And then Tommen's like, all right, see ya.
Yeah. I think my ranking would be like, I guess it would probably also be a 7. I wanted to say 6, but those first like
It's
5
just too
seasons are
strong
good
at the
enough.
beginning.
So
Yeah.
fucking good
Yeah.
at the beginning.
But like, if I had to just say those like last 3 seasons, that'd be like a fucking 2, maybe a 3. Like,
Yeah.
like
That's the thing,
season
it's just those
season
last
6
seasons.
really only has Battle of the Bastards. I don't really care
it-
about much
it-
else that happens in that season.
It's just so tragic. I think I said this to you where I said seasons like 1 through 4, maybe 1 through 5
I would recommend it. by the way.
is pure character political drama with like hints of spectacle in there, right?
And some titty.
And some titty for good measure.
Always appreciate the titty. And
But
dick.
then-
There is equal representation.
But then 5 through 8, they decide forget being really well crafted and tightly written and making sense. When instead we can have all spectacle
Once they ran out of book,
and
they really
no
lost it.
political drama or character interactions
Yeah.
that make sense.
Once they ran out of book, they really lost a lot of the intricacies.
Yeah, and they just decided that every character just changes for no reason.
But yeah, I'd recommend it. I mean, like, those last 3 seasons are not good, really. But like, it had such an impact. You know, like it's something that should at least be witnessed, and then also witness how they fail and why.
It's an incredible show to study.
Yeah.
It really is. You can learn a lot from that show.
And boy, do I care about that Tigerian show at all? Nope.
House
I'm
of
looking
Dragons?
forward to it.
I'm going to watch it.
I'm gonna watch the shit out of it.
I'll probably watch it, but I do not.
The
give a
hypocrite
shit.
in me says I'm gonna watch the shit out
I
of it.
don't, I don't like. I don't give a shit about it. I'll probably watch it, but I don't care.
I think arguably the Targaryens are the most interesting family in all of Game of Thrones. So like, I'm really excited.
Yeah, all
see it?
down for the family of incest.
I mean, not even that. They have fucking dragons. They like killed each other.
Also
they slept with each other. Like
yeah.
it was insane.
But anyway, that'll be it for this episode.
Yeah.
For this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime podcast.
Yes, sir.
You have 4 more weeks to watch
Banana Fish.
Banana Fish, Sage's pick.
I'm so sorry. It's still only on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so make sure you watch that. Don't forget to check out Anthony at Super Milkshake on YouTube, Kat at Kat the Moonstar on Twitch. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, leave a review, and and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.